Hi guys, welcome to my first YouTube video. I'm so glad you're here. Let's get started. So I'm going to be recreating a painting I had done a few days ago and posted on my Instagram feed. It's going to be a painting of some stem flowers along with an anemone type of flower. So just really simple and very loose. That's just my style. It's very loose, not to be too specific with shapes of flowers. I'm not going to be stressing about exact sizes and shapes and such, just trying to keep it very easy. So starting off, I'm using a round brush, size 8. You can use whatever brush you're most comfortable with. A round brush is best for this painting, and if you're a beginner especially, they're a really versatile brush. You can make a lot of different types of marks with the round brush, so that's why I recommend the round brush to most beginners. As you can see, I'm making just really loose marks. There's no right or wrong, but the general shape of the mark is such that they're sort of roundish marks, okay? And I have plenty of water in my palette. If you saw me mix that color, there is plenty of water in there. That's a very common beginner mistake, is to not have enough water in your paint. I just wanted to add one more right at the bottom. Okay, then while it's still wet, I'm going to switch to a size 6 brush and dip into my olive green. So I use just try and get it out of there. I use a variety of brands, and while it's still wet, like I'm saying, I'm just going to dip through and paint the stem. So I use a variety of brands. I get asked a lot which brand of paint I'm using, and it's really hard for me to answer that question because it's more than one. As you can see in this palette, I just mix them up. Whatever blues I have, whatever pinks and reds and orange and yellows I have. This palette to my left is specifically all Roman Schmal. It's a Polish company, and they're definitely my go-to brand. So switching back to size 8. You know what? While this yellow is still wet, I'm gonna mix a little bit of Scarlet Lake in there. Just gonna dab it in some random places. Again, the idea is just to loosen up, not think too much about what you're placing where. You should have a little bit of an idea, but no strict rules here. This is Cadmium Orange by Winsor Newton. I'm just going to repeat the same thing over here. Okay, so as you saw, I didn't really make any specific type of strokes. They were just very random. Okay, dragging this out to the top a little bit. Okay, again, while this is still wet, using some Scarlet Lake. some marks and letting the paint do its thing. Next, I'm gonna add 2 anemone-like flowers. Basically, they're going to be 5 petal flowers, approximately 5 petal, using buff titanium here. So for these, again, nothing specific. I just want to give the impression of a flower with petals. So I didn't even count the number of petals I got in there. So very loose, and so that's 3 petals. I'm not gonna make it 5, I'll just make it 4 petals because that's all the room I have. Okay, and I'm gonna leave it at that. Okay, now I'm gonna go in with some magenta. What I do a lot is I pick out my pans that are in my palette and I place them randomly around my desk. And that's how I lose some. Not really lose, but they're just no longer in my palette when I need them. So I just painted 1 set of petals back here, and that's going to represent a stem that's coming up from behind these white 5 petal flowers. I'm going to go ahead and draw that stem, carry it down. I'm not going to draw over these flowers. This stem represents the flowers coming up from behind those. If I wanted to, I could add just like the leftover petals coming down here. Make it a little bit bigger. Okay, I'm going to add 1 more magenta petal. Back here. Okay. Now this actually looks like it belongs to these 2, huh? So I'm just gonna go with it. Just gonna go with it. Okay, again, going back to size 6 to add the top portions, which is just a little stem coming off, and then just applying some pressure with my brush to build the remaining part of the stem. Okay, and finally I'm going to switch back to a size 8 and go with my cadmium orange again. So again, just doing these randomly placed strokes to represent the flower portion of the stem. Okay. And back to my green. It's not green. There you go. Back to my size 6 and coming up. And I want to touch the cadmium orange with my green. I want there to be a little bleed. Okay. Didn't do these center portions for this or this. I'll leave that one alone. So now I'm gonna add some leaves. And the leaves of these are a lot like the leaves found on tulips. Very blade-like, flat. So I went back to my size 8, starting from the bottom, work my way up, apply pressure, then release the pressure as I come to the top. Oh, you know what? I want to make it longer. So I'm going to apply pressure here again and release. Okay. I do one on this side, and this time I'll do it the opposite way. I'm going to go very light pressure and then apply pressure as I come down. Okay, let's add some more. about some going behind these petals? So I'm going to leave it pretty thick, going all the way to the top, as in to represent that they went behind those flowers. Okay. More. Okay. Switching back to my size 6 brush, I'm gonna get some, how about a black? I usually don't paint much with black. I'm just gonna touch the centers of these flowers. Okay, and I just remembered I didn't put any Scarlet Lake in this. Okay, that's done. Now if I want to, I can go back and add some color to these magenta ones. How about a purple? And just a touch. While they're still wet, of course. If they were dry, it would be too late. And that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'd love to get some feedback from you as to what you would like to see more of, or what you would like for me to do differently next time. Again, I appreciate you for taking out the time to watch this video, and I'd be so grateful if you subscribed, gave me a thumbs up, left me a comment, and shared about my channel with your other artist friends. Thank you for watching. Bye.